Stage 1 is starting next week, and so what we're gonna do is for first up for the three regions that will be starting next week, which will be China, EMEA, and Pacific. We'll do this week, and then next week we're gonna do America since, yeah, I don't know exactly why, but they're starting a week later, so I figured I'm gonna give myself a week more time for that. Maybe some roster changes might come in the meantime, which I wouldn't want to miss out on. So yeah. But yeah, without further ado, first up, we're gonna look at China in this video, and we're gonna do or we're gonna first look at the power rankings I made at the beginning of the year and just look at how where did I place the teams. I did do the power rankings for the entire year, so maybe some of these don't have to be accurate for right now, but I have to work out over the entirety of the year. But obviously, there will be some that are really wrong, but we'll get to that in a bit. Then after, we're gonna look at the map elos real quick, like what did they look like post kickoff or post masters, I suppose, for the teams which attended, and then the changes with the map changes, right? We're gonna have Abyss and Corrode leaving the pool, and Fracture as well as Lotus are coming in. And so we're gonna look at that, but only really quick, I think. And then after, we're gonna do the power rankings. And we're gonna do that today for China, tomorrow for EMEA, and then the day after for Pacific. And then after that, we're gonna do the pick'ems for week 1 for these three regions. And then, as I've said, Americas only starts a week after, so we're gonna get that a week later. But yeah, without further ado, let's head right into China. And so yeah, as I've said, this was my power ranking at the beginning of the year. I had EDG as well as DRG in S tier. I would say it's alright putting these teams up there, right? Because it's over the entirety of the year. It could work out right now. That doesn't seem to be true. With BLG, FPX, XLG, obviously I have had FPX a bit too high. I was really looking forward to the roster, and the roster looked shit. I mean, they made some changes now, or one change to be fair. So we'll see what that change will do, but I don't think that's gonna work out. Obviously, the thing that stands out the most is AG being really far down. And they've looked really great thus far. They've looked like the best team in China, right? They won. They're the only one to get a win at the Masters. So yeah, AG are for sure they are for sure the biggest outlier, in a positive sense, and then in a negative sense it's FPX. And then for Tyloo Trace, they should probably be switched around with Wolves and JDG. But since it's the entirety of the year, I still think it could work out that way. Now with the Wolves, I mean, we're gonna see that when I do the power rankings, but I don't have as much trust in them. With JDG, I still believe in the team having some good aimers, so I think that could work out. But yeah, obviously AG should be higher and FPX lower. But yeah, now let's look at the ELO ratings. And so when we look at the ELO ratings, these are the ELO ratings for the 7 maps and then the overalls. And here I've had them ordered. I've also put like the permaban / never played. As you can see, for FPX, for example, they haven't played 4 out of the 7 maps, which is mental. They've only played 3 maps, but they only played 3 games. It's so crazy that it's only been 3 maps, since they had to play at least 2 in every match, right? But yeah, they only played 3 maps, different maps in total, and so with 3 matches, yeah, makes sense that they're down there. Nova down there, which makes sense. Wolves, JDG, thus far, I think it checks out with the performances. Then I would say, surprisingly, DRG being fairly far down when they've looked pretty good, actually. They've, they came in fourth, right? So I don't know how how that happened, that their elo rating is that bad. Then Tech, Trace, BLG, who looked fairly good. EDG, who obviously lost a lot in at Masters, so makes sense that they're a bit lower. Or they've dropped a bit lower. I think that's gonna work itself out over the course of stage one. Tai Lu, really weird how they are so high up here, but it kind of checks out with how they've looked in the China Evolution series, right? There they've looked really good, so I think Tai Lu could be a dark horse contender, and then AG and XLG at the top. I don't know how XLG managed to be that much in front of AG, but somehow they are. Yeah. And then for stage one, obviously we've got Fracture and Lotus coming in. I've put here the permaban / never played. I mean, doesn't say that much. For the majority of teams it's two. Since it's the two new maps, then some have had a permaban, which might stick in terms of like AG probably, right, or like Tech maybe, but couldn't really tell. I think only AG really, their permaban is gonna stick. With other teams, they just haven't played a lot of games. But yeah, you can see the elo changes, like funnily enough. Well, I guess it kind of makes sense that the teams which elos improved through the maps being changed, they're all high up, and then the ones who lost are down here. And then for FPX it didn't change since they didn't play either of the two. And yeah, for we have still XLG, then AG, then Tai Lu, then we've got Tech coming up here. I think that's criminal since they've looked horribly. Then JDG, Wolves, kind of interesting. DRG still kind of low even though they improved. BLG falling down is crazy. Trace, EDG losing a lot of elo in this, which is mental. But yeah, I think right now this is just interesting to look at, but it's not a clear depiction of how it's gonna go. Just yeah, as I've said, it's a fun thing to look at, but right now this is not gonna tell you a lot about these teams. Yeah, since it's just very little to go off of, and the more games we're gonna get, the more accurate it's gonna get over the course of stage one. So yeah, just wanted to include it. And now we're gonna head to the power rankings, the most interesting part, I think. And so for the power rankings, I think first up we're gonna talk about a couple of the roster changes. We had Wolves who got rid of their sixth man Satoshi, like I don't know, pretty whatever to me. It doesn't really change the way I think about the team, I would say. Then for Trace, Arbo came in from Titan Esports Club. And uh, I think it's kind of, I would say it's also kind of doesn't really change how I think about the team, kind of side grades. I think it might work out well, but I wasn't that dissatisfied with how the team was beforehand, so I wouldn't say it really, I wouldn't say I'm excited for it, but it's also not that I think it makes the team worse. So yeah, for Tech they added in Spitfires, who was on AG last year. I think it doesn't really move anything for me when it comes to the team. I think the team on theory it should be decent, but somehow they are just garbage. Like they're just a bad team. I don't know exactly where it comes from, but yeah, I don't think this roster change is gonna change much in that sense. Oh, I just realized for Wolves, I also forget to add that they added in Rick Lee for Chutian. I don't know how he's pronounced exactly. I think it's a good change for them. Like I think Chutian he wasn't really performing for the team. I don't know a lot, or I don't know anything about Wrigley, but yeah, I can't imagine that. Like I think it's gonna be a decent move. I don't think it's gonna move the needle, but I think it should be a solid move for them. And Chutian, he moves to Nova. Um, yeah, I don't think that he was great, and I think Nova looked really bad. So yeah, still think Nova are gonna be bad. And then the last real roster change I would say is for FPX, with Scary leaving the team or being removed from the team, and Kovac joining, was on Team Vitality last year during stage 2, and I think it's a very decent roster change. I think I don't know exactly why, but Scary really didn't work out well. I think with Kovac coming in, it's a player that is gonna be fairly good, and he's gonna, I think, hopefully, what they will hope is that he brings in a bit more knowledge to the of the game, right, which is lacking in China generally, since they're a bit behind of other regions, and so maybe the hope is that Kovac can help with that, and if he manages to do that, I think that's gonna be great for FPX. Then EDG, they got rid of CB, and Jenny comes in again. I think it's good that they got rid of CB. He was really bad, also misogynist, so really nice to have him out of the league, obviously. Um, yeah, but also gameplay wise, I think it's a good move. I still don't think Jenny is like he's not on like a performing at an international to a high degree. I don't think that's his level, which I think EDG should be striving for. But yeah, I think it's gonna make EDG better. But I don't know. I want this team to be doing well internationally, and I don't think this was the change is really gonna do that. So yeah, I don't know. Bit underwhelming, but it's still a good move. Then DRG, they are uh, getting live, was with FPX as well, and I think I'm really uncertain because I feel like Ackerman was really good for the team. I personally enjoyed him really, right? DRG's been my favorite team, and I really liked Ackerman. I know he hasn't performed great during kickoff, but I still thought that with the Neon meta coming, I thought, or presumably coming, I thought Ackerman would probably work out really well for DRG. But yeah, they've gone for Leaf, who is a bit of a coin flippy guy. So yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I think it's kind of it's a side grade. Realistically, it could be a downgrade if life just, I don't know, if the coin flips just don't work out, it could be a downgrade, but it could also be a upgrade, right? But probably it's just a side grade, I think. Then for BLG, they signed another rookie to the squad. I don't know anything about him. I don't know who he's gonna be playing for, so can't really tell you much about that. But I don't think it would change my opinion of BLG really. And then for AG, it's been reported that their coach or assistant coach, Septum, is gonna be playing for them, which I think is really odd because the team actually was great, and I don't know who he would come in for. I don't know whether it's like for AU1 or for Kira. I think they were the two worst performing members, but I don't know if that really works out great. But yeah, so these were the roster changes. Um, I just wanted to get them out of the way first. And now with the tier list, I think I'm gonna have quite a hard time. So I'm gonna start out easy, which is just putting AG in S tier. They should be the best team, right? They've come in first in kickoff. They were the only Chinese team to really do anything at Master Santiago, the only one to win a game. And yeah, made it against, had to play against harder opponents than EDG and XLG did. So it would be really dumb not to put them in first place. And I think after them, it's kind of a tier down, and it's kind of close between a couple of teams. I think in A tier there are BLG, DRG, EDG, and XLG, and I think you could make an argument for pretty much any order. Personally, I would say I'd probably put BLG in first, because I think you can make the argument that they would have made Master Santiago if they could have played with their full squad. Um, and yeah, I just don't think you could really argue that they would have made that. And so since they're gonna be playing with their full squad, I think putting them in second um is very reasonable, since EDG and XLG didn't look great. I would then put EDG in third, since, yeah, as I've said, I think they've made a slight upgrade with Jenny over CB. Then between DRG and XLG, I think it's gonna be close. I would put actually XLG above DRG, but yeah, I don't know. It's just it's just a bit of vibes, really, because I'm not sold on the live or such changes. So yeah, I'm gonna put XIG above them, but yeah, I don't know. My trust in XIG has really gone down at Santiago, since I thought they would do at least a bit. They would at least look decent in their games, and they really didn't. But yeah, regionally they should still be a top team. So yeah, you have to give them that respect at least. Then I think with B and C tier it's also really hard, so I think I'm just gonna do the easy one and do D tier first. I'm gonna put Tech and Nova there. I don't think these teams are gonna do anything really. They don't have great rosters. Didn't look like they could really do anything. So I feel good about putting them down there. Then for B tier, I think I would put Tyloo probably at the top of B tier. They did look really promising at kickoff already. Plus, then they also performed well at the China Evolution series. Um, but yeah, I don't know how much of that is going to translate, but I still think they have a good roster. And so, yeah, I'm going to put them in B tier. I think I'm going to put Trace there as well. And I think I'm going to put JDG there as well. I think these teams are all somewhat on the same level. I think for Tyloo, they could break out and make it into like a tier, into the same tier as these four. And yeah, I think for Trace and JDG, I don't see as much of an opportunity for them to move up really. It's just they seem better than the two C tier teams, which would be Wolves and FPX. And I would actually put FPX above Wolves, but yeah, really interchangeable. I think they're both not looking great. Um, yeah, I think these two could move up to BT here. I think like kind of this middle of the pack is is really close by each other. They're really interchangeable. These four are really close by each other. And then I think we have a clear bottom two and a clear number one team in China. And yeah, this is the power rankings that I've come up with here. Yeah, don't feel I don't feel great about it. I'm really unsure about a couple of these, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you have higher than I have them? Who do you have lower? Um, and then we're gonna see each other tomorrow for EMEA power rankings, or at Monday for the China Stage 1 Week 1 pick'ems. And yeah, till then, I'll see you guys next time.